Hello, good morning. Is this thing on? Is it? I'm going to double check real quick, but hi, my name is Andrew. If you can hear me, this is live. As far as I know, I'm going to double check real quick. You know what? I'll just double check on my phone to make sure. I'm using OBS. I was using StreamYard there for a minute. And hi, I've been absent for a while. Let me just double checking the stream, see if it's up and running. Um, Good morning. So basically, I guess I better check and see if anyone can hear this. If anyone's watching, which you probably aren't. Let's see. Um. Oh, maybe it is. I think it's working. Looks like the volume might be kind of low. Let's see. Hello. Let's do this way. Sorry, just testing everything out. It's not what I wanted to do. We'll get started here in a minute. I'm just gonna double check everything. Um. Oh, I think yeah. Hello. Let's do this way. Sorry. Okay. I think we got it. We'll get started here in a minute. I'm just gonna double check everything. Um. Yeah. Cool. Hi. I think yeah. Looks like it's transferring well. Looks like the volume's good. Got a new microphone. Sounds wonderful. So let's just where's my let's just jump right in. Let's just start talking about stuff. So basically my plan for this is just to open up news stories, react, and hopefully start conversations. That's really my goal here is to find people to have good conversations with and hopefully start some conversations out there with you amongst yourselves. So, yeah, that's because that's really what we need more of. We need more people talking, having conversations face to face, and or even just social media. As long as you are openly and honestly communicating, that's what we need to have more of. Logical, common sense, fact based discussion, and not just you know first feeling reactions, even though that's kind of what I'm doing. I don't know. We're going to react with thought. But anyway, let's just do it. Um, let's see. So I just sat down, started live, and opened up this TikTok, or not TikTok, but X or Twitter or whatever the fuck. And the first thing I see is Beardo just saying disappointment. But after that, it's Libs of TikTok. Let's see. Meet Dee Dee Duffy, a preschool teacher in Cape Coral, Florida. She says she teaches her students that if they don't like their parents, they can find another family. She also says she teaches them to be gay. These are the people teaching your kids. So I haven't watched this. I mean, I've seen it on loop. I haven't turned the volume off yet. But let's just react to that real quick, right? Teaches her students that if they don't like their parents, they can find another family. So she is already causing division in the home. She's already causing division in the family. Um, she also teaches them to be gay. She's a preschool teacher. Why does any teacher need to teach kids anything other than reading, writing, arithmetic, real history, basic science, basic classical art, physical education? Why does any teacher need to why would any teacher want to speak to children about kids or to speak to children about sex? Why? I don't know. If someone has a good answer, I'd like to hear it. But I know we've. I don't know. Let's listen to this. Look at it. God, let's listen to this crazy person. I guess it's 57 seconds. I
I
apologize.
feel
Oh, there it goes. All right, it's kind of loud. Oh God, here we go.
I feel like I had to learn the concept of chosen families really young, and it wasn't anything to do with my queerness, but just based on the fact that I didn't have the love at home that I needed, and I knew that I was valuable and deserved it, so I found it on my own early on.
God.
And I shouldn't be blamed for that because
Um.
like blood still exists. You were never there for me, and I found my own love, and that's okay. And I think everybody should be allowed to do that, and that's what I fucking teach in the classroom. Okay, I always say give it to your friend, not your mom, because fuck your mom. And I don't know, I just am so sad. I am so sad, and I hate my sister. She's a fucking cunt. That's all I have to say.
That's my major problem with school. I really don't do anything unless I actually want to do it. And most of the time, I don't want to do anything at all.
I feel like I had
I'm gonna start drinking again. Oh my God. This thing shouldn't be within 500 miles of a child. She needs to be removed from her position immediately. Public education is now child abuse. I know it's extremely difficult for people to. It's becoming more and more difficult for people to even consider private schools or homeschooling. But we're talking about your children. We're talking about your kids. Oh my God, dude. This is just. People like this have turned the entire world into their own therapy session, and they expect us all to listen and change just to make them feel good, right? There's no logic here. There's no common sense here. There's no genuine thought here. This is just some uber medicated emotional outburst because of her past trauma that she is now going to pass on to preschoolers. She is going to pass her own personal trauma onto preschoolers. She's not teaching them anything except how to be fucked up human beings. When was this posted? 12 hours. What's her name? Dee Dee Duffy. Shit, let's just look it up. Shit, it was only 12 hours ago. I don't know how long the TikTok's been there. Duffy, there it is, right there. Oh God. Is there like an actual? Let's just go to news. Yeah, nothing. Of course not. Of course, the media won't care about this because they're in on it. Oh boy, dude. I don't know. That's what a way to start the morning. I don't want to go to Instagram. I really don't. I'm already on Twitter. Twitchy. LinkedIn. God. What's your LinkedIn look like? I'm not joining LinkedIn. Do I have LinkedIn? I don't think I do. I don't really care. 2 followers, 2 connections. Okay. 2 followers who have just entered the 7th circle of hell. Boy, I don't know. We do not yet have children. They will not be attending public schools when we do, and this is why. This is exactly why. I don't know how anyone could defend this. When I was in preschool, I remember learning the alphabet and colors and shapes. Good God. My God. What a start, huh? We don't have to sit on this for very long, but yeah, Public education is a disaster. And who is the... Hold on a second. Damn it. Get out of here. I can't remember what it's called. Miguel... Oh, I thought it was someone else. I'm thinking of something else. Miguel Angel Cardona. Oh, God. Secretary. That's what I was thinking. Secretary of Education. Everything's a secretary. Jesus Christ. Let's click on that. It's from NBC News, so I'm sure it'll be a little one-sided. But how Oklahoma's... This is like the complete opposite of what we just watched, right? So we've got this psychopath, and then we've got this guy who some people would probably consider a psychopath, but I don't know that much about him, so let's read. How Oklahoma's school superintendent... What's the date on this? Oh, this is back in April. How Oklahoma's school superintendent became the state's top culture warrior. I've heard of this guy. I haven't looked into it much. Ryan Walters, who called a teachers union a terrorist organization, I'd probably agree, and pushed for prayer in public schools, okay, offers a preview of what could be coming in other Republican-led states. Boy, I would prefer prayer to Dee whatever the fuck. Jesus Christ. Since Ryan Walters was sworn in as Oklahoma's superintendent of public instruction in January, he's called for prayer in public schools and hanging the 10 Commandments in classrooms. That wouldn't be a bad thing, huh? Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt obey your mother and father. I mean, those three alone are better lessons than this. Sweet Jesus. He's adopted regulations prohibiting school libraries from circulating books with sexualized content and requiring educators to tell parents if their child changes their gender identity. So, I immediately 100% this guy, 100% support this guy. Sorry, I didn't sleep well. And now Walters is threatening a state takeover of Tulsa Public Schools, Oklahoma's largest district, leading Tulsa's superintendent to announce plans to resign Tuesday ahead of a key state Board of Education meeting on Thursday. Gee, I wonder why they're going to resign. What do they got in their closet? Deborah Gist. Is that her? No. I am departing because I believe... This is Deborah Gist, the Tulsa Public School Superintendent. I am departing because I believe that doing so offers the best chance for control of our schools to remain where they belong in Tulsa with our elected... Okay, so... Let's just go back to Ryan Walters. In his first 7 months on the job, Walters has made a significant mark on the Oklahoma education system and thrust a typically low-profile office into the center of political firestorms. He has drawn support from conservative activist groups such as the 1776 Project, PAC, Americans for Prosperity, and Moms for Liberty, which pledged last month to back like-minded state superintendents nationally. I support this guy 1,000,000% more than Dee what's her face. Oh, God, man. Seriously, this person, look at this.
To learn the concept
Look at this.
of chosen families really young, and it wasn't...
This is mental. This is a mental breakdown. We have an enormous mental health crisis in this country. An enormous mental health crisis. I'm going to look up a study real quick that I remember. Because I want to show you. I don't want to just say it. I want to show you the... I'm trying to remember what it's called. Whatever. Compared to... Oh. No, let me find that a touch. As psychologist Robert Leahy points out, the average high school kid today has the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in the early 1950s. That was back in 2011. Now, this is according to Slate, right? But let's just read it. When a team of UCLA researchers released its latest annual report on the mindset of America's university students last week, one finding screamed out for red alert media attention. Our college kids are more stressed out and anxious than ever before. In the researchers' surveys of more than 200,000 incoming freshmen just graduated high school, students reported all-time lows in overall mental health and emotional stability. And this news sent the media on a high-strung spree of its own. ABC World News ran footage of harried-looking teenagers rushing around campus. Time wondered, why are college students reporting record high levels of stress? The New York Times story on the report vaulted to the top of the paper's most emailed list. The culprit for this is so right off the bat, we have a mental health crisis. And I don't think that's a mystery to anyone. I think if you just look around, you open your eyes and look around and see people like this, and you see something like TikTok, you say, oh yeah, people are losing their damn minds. You know, the interesting thing about TikTok, over in China, their TikTok doesn't have stuff like this Didi person. It doesn't have the NPC trend. They ban that stuff from their TikTok in China. They only allow things like math and science and engineering. STEM. Oh, God, man. So they have clearly designed TikTok as a weapon against the West because it is exacerbating the mental health crisis. So let's take a look at what they're doing right here. So the media, the mainstream media, has identified, or did identify, over 12 years ago, that this was an issue. They were almost shocked that this issue was as bad as it is. And it's only gotten worse, obviously, since then. So they admitted that they were somewhat shocked. I mean, just in the first paragraph. And yet, when's the last time you heard a story about it? This one's in 2011. Shows you what their focus is. Shows you what they really care about, right? If this should be one of our top priorities in this country, is helping people with mental health issues. And I do not mean getting people psychiatric services that would only put them on drugs. Psychotropic drugs from a psychiatrist are so ungodly, dangerous, and unhealthy for you. You know, if we had a healthy family, and we had healthy families in this country, we probably wouldn't have this. I mean, this person alone stated that she was traumatized by whatever her mom did to her, okay? If I had to guess, she probably didn't have a father or know him, or he wasn't there, or maybe her mother just scared him the fuck off because Jesus Christ. That's not too far-fetched. I'm just having like a stream of consciousness right now. We're just connecting a few dots here. Let's see. We won't stay on this too much longer. Let's read a little bit more. The culprit for this soaring stress of the incoming freshmen back in 2011, the stories unanimously declared, is the horrendous job market. That's it. Yeah, a thoroughly lame explanation. Correct. I don't know about your college experience, but when I got to school a dozen years ago, my classmates spent about as much time pondering the future job market as they spent leafing through calculus textbooks for fun. That is correct. These news stories have missed the truth because they've overlooked one crucial fact. Students are becoming more anxious because, for many years now, we've all been growing more anxious. This isn't just a campus issue, it's an American issue. Well, I'm glad they're addressing this. I'm glad that they were able to admit that. I wish more media outlets would talk about that today, although I don't pay too much attention to the mainstream media, so maybe they did. I don't know. Let's not get too far off in this. I just want to talk about the news of the day, but it means this all came out of the very first thing that I saw on Twitter. Jesus. Anxiety flew past depression as the most prominent mental health issue in America, and it's never looked back. With more than 18% of adults suffering from an anxiety disorder in any given year, the United States is now the most anxious nation in the world, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. So I want to let's talk about anxiety for a second. As someone who was in a mental health ward of a hospital for 6 days, and someone who had been, I don't take any prescriptions anymore. It's great. It's great. If you can get off them, you need to get off them. All of them. All of them. There are no healthy prescription drugs. None. Not a one. And I think that's pretty evident by the increase of prescription drugs has been directly linked. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a study off the top of my head, but all you have to do is just look at the history. The more prescription drug use has gone up, the more anxiety, the more depression, and it does work that way. Look, people now just take like a bad day or a bad week or even a bad month or year as just, okay, let's just stick with like a bad day or a bad week. They're like, and they're upset and they're all over the place. Say, oh my, I must have anxiety. I must have depression. I just can't get out of this rut. There's just nothing to be happy about. God, there must be something wrong with me. I must have a chemical imbalance. And you walk into a psychiatrist's office and you sit down and you talk to him for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. And you'll walk out with 2 or 3 prescriptions at least. Well, here's something for the anxiety. Here's some Xanax. Here's some Valium. And I see that they talk about it here, so we'll go on just a little bit. We'll finish this and then we'll move forward. But it's like, here's some Xanax. Here's some Valium. And here's some Lexapro or Prozac. And this might, upset your sleep a little. Well, Xanax will help you sleep. It will do that. But they don't take a blood test. They don't review a medical history to see what maybe you've tried before. They just ask you, it's like, well, have you tried anything before? It's like, yeah, I tried blah, blah, blah. Or no. If you go in for your first time, you say no. And they say, okay, well, let's just start you with some Prozac and some Valium. And they throw a month's supply at you and send you on your way. I guarantee if I went into a psychiatrist's office right now, I know exactly how to act, what to say, what to do, how to respond, what to write down, and to walk out of there with a 90-day supply of Xanax. I guarantee it. They just hand it out like candy. So let's move on, because I see that they do mention it, and that, like I said, we'll move on after this. Maybe, I don't know. Let's just go with it. Let's just fuck it. I have no plan for this other than to just read stories and react, and hopefully start some conversation. So with more than 18% of adults suffering from an anxiety disorder any given year, the United States is now the most anxious nation in the world, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. One second. Get a little Get a little nervous sip. Pardon, excuse me. Let's see. Where are we at? Stress-related ailments cost the nation $300 billion every year in medical bills and lost productivity